What if I told you that one of the most devastating spies in American history wasn't a Russian agent who infiltrated the FBI, but an FBI agent himself? For over 2 decades, a trusted counterintelligence expert sold America's deepest secrets to Russia. He compromised dozens of operations, betrayed countless agents, and caused the deaths of at least 3 people, all while working at the very heart of American intelligence. This is the story of Robert Hanssen, the FBI agent who worked for Russia. Robert Philip Hanssen was born in 1944 in Chicago. He was a devout Catholic, a family man with 6 children, and a dedicated FBI agent. On the surface, he was the model American patriot. But beneath that facade lurked one of the most damaging traitors in U.S. history. Hanssen joined the FBI in 1976 with a background in accounting and computers, skills that would prove invaluable in his espionage career. Just 3 years later, in 1979, he made his first contact with Soviet military intelligence, the GRU. His motivation wasn't ideology or blackmail. It was simple greed. He wanted money, and he knew exactly what he could sell. But what made Hanssen so dangerous wasn't just his access to secrets. It was his position. He worked in Soviet counterintelligence, the very unit tasked with catching spies like him. He knew every technique, every vulnerability, every surveillance method the FBI used. He was hunting himself, and he was always one step ahead. Hanssen's first espionage period lasted from 1979 to 1981. He delivered classified documents to the Soviets and received cash payments in return. But then something unexpected happened. His wife Bonnie caught him with a large amount of unexplained cash. He confessed to spying, and she insisted he stop and confess to a priest. He did confess to a priest, who gave him absolution and told him to donate the money to charity and never spy again. And for a while, he didn't. Hanssen stopped his espionage activities, but the damage was already done. The Soviets had received valuable intelligence about American operations, and Hanssen had gotten away with it. For the next 4 years, Hanssen lived a normal life as an FBI agent. But the allure of easy money and the thrill of betrayal proved too strong. In 1985, he resumed his espionage career, this time contacting the KGB directly. And this time, he would become even more careful, even more deadly. The year 1985 became known as the Year of the Spy in American intelligence circles. Multiple spies were active simultaneously, including CIA officer Aldrich Ames. But Hanssen was different. He never met his handlers face to face. He communicated through dead drops, leaving packages of classified documents in predetermined locations and picking up payment the same way. He used the alias Ramon Garcia, and later just Ramon. The KGB never knew his real identity. This paranoia saved him. When the FBI eventually caught Aldrich Ames in 1994, they discovered he had caused massive damage to American intelligence. Multiple Russian sources working for the CIA were executed. But even after Ames was arrested, the leaks continued. The FBI knew there had to be another mole, but they didn't know who. So what exactly did Hanssen betray? The list is staggering. He revealed the identities of dozens of Russian intelligence officers who were secretly working for the United States. At least 3 of these men were executed: General Dmitry Polyakov, a high-ranking GRU officer who spied for the US for nearly 20 years, Sergei Motorin, a KGB officer, and Valery Martinov, another KGB officer working in Washington. Their deaths are directly attributed to Hanssen's betrayal. He also compromised an extremely expensive surveillance tunnel that the FBI had dug beneath the Soviet embassy in Washington. He revealed the existence of classified programs and technologies, including details about American nuclear war plans. He exposed intelligence gathering techniques and ongoing FBI investigations. The total damage to U.S. national security may never be fully known. And what did he get in return? Over his 22-year espionage career, Hanssen received over $1.4 million in cash and diamonds. He used the money to pay off debts, support his family, and fund his peculiar obsessions. He was a walking contradiction, a devout Catholic who attended Mass regularly while betraying his country, a family man who secretly videotaped himself having sex with his wife and shared the tapes with a friend, an FBI agent sworn to protect America who sold its secrets to the enemy. By the late 1990s, the FBI knew they had a mole, but the investigation was going nowhere. Then, in the year 2000, they got a break. U.S. intelligence paid $7 million to a former KGB officer for a file that contained actual documents from the mole. The file included a tape recording of the spy's voice and a black garbage bag he had used for a dead drop. The FBI began comparing the voice on the tape to recordings of FBI agents. In November 2000, they finally identified him, Robert Hanssen. But identifying him wasn't enough. They needed to catch him in the act. So the FBI launched an elaborate undercover operation. They transferred Hanssen to a new position at FBI headquarters, supposedly a promotion, but really it was to keep him under constant surveillance. They assigned him to a detail where he would have less access to sensitive information. They watched his every move. On February 18, 2001, Hanssen made a dead drop at Foxstone Park in Vienna, Virginia. He placed a package of classified documents under a footbridge, the same location he had used before. But this time, FBI agents were watching. As he walked back to his car, they moved in and arrested him. "Why did you do it?" an agent asked him. Hanssen's response was chilling. "What took you so long?" The evidence against him was overwhelming. In his car, they found classified documents he was planning to pass to the Russians. In his home, they found evidence of his espionage activities going back years. Faced with the death penalty, Hanssen agreed to plead guilty in exchange for life in prison without parole. The deal also required him to undergo extensive debriefing sessions where he would reveal everything he had done. In May 2002, Robert Hanssen was sentenced to 15 consecutive life terms in federal prison. He was sent to ADX Florence in Colorado, the supermax prison known as the Alcatraz of the Rockies, where he spent 23 hours a day in solitary confinement. But the questions lingered. How did he get away with it for so long? Part of the answer is that he was simply very good at what he did. He understood FBI surveillance techniques because he had helped develop them. He never got greedy or sloppy. He never spent money in ways that would draw attention. And critically, he never met his Russian handlers in person, which meant they couldn't identify him even if they wanted to. But there's another reason: institutional failure. The FBI was so focused on external threats that they never seriously considered one of their own could be a traitor. There were warning signs. Hanssen had access to information he shouldn't have been looking at. He exhibited strange behavior. A fellow FBI agent even reported suspicions about him, but nothing came of it. The culture of the organization made it almost unthinkable that a senior counterintelligence agent could be a spy. The Hanssen case led to major reforms in how the FBI handles internal security. They implemented stricter controls on access to classified information, improved auditing of who looks at what files, and created better mechanisms for reporting suspicious behavior. But the damage was done. The full extent of Hanssen's betrayal may never be known because the Russians, understandably, aren't sharing everything he gave them. Robert Hanssen died in prison on June 5, 2023, at the age of 79. He never showed remorse for his actions. In his debriefing sessions, he was described as arrogant and defensive, more concerned with demonstrating how clever he had been than with the lives he had destroyed. His story raises uncomfortable questions about trust, loyalty, and how even the most trusted institutions can be vulnerable from within. The man who was supposed to catch Russian spies became Russia's most valuable spy. The agent who swore to protect American secrets sold them to the enemy. And for 22 years he got away with it. If you found this story fascinating and want to dive deeper into more intelligence operations, covert missions, and untold stories from the world of espionage, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell. We bring you the most compelling intelligence analysis and historical breakdowns every week. Drop a comment below, and let us know what spy story you want us to cover next. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone who loves real-life espionage stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.